What is a big scam, but is allowed? Fake X button on the ads. OHH, that's a good one. I use uBlock though. Works like a charm. MLMs. Modern day pyramid schemes. Yes, they are the worst. Are you looking to be your own boss? Ugh, gag me. My girlfriend is pretty. My girlfriend is cute. But sometimes she speaks in absolutes. We're sure to get married in 2-5 years if I visit her monthly and ditch my career. I've spent so much time on trying to be the man that she wants that I'm no longer me. My friends are all leaving. And so is my mother if I try to go back. Girlfriend thinks I don't love her. Everyone tells me she manipulates, but she says they're haters. She calls them dead weight. She says if I want her I must go all in. I feel like I'm fighting a war I can't win. She says I'll be happy. But makes all these rules, and if I don't follow she calls me a fool. If I don't escape now I think I'm condemned because my own girlfriend's a damn MLM. Sensi had my wife sucked in for like 2 years. We poured out more money than we brought in on that crap. And the quality of the wax declined over just that 2 years. Finally she realized how much she was losing and got out. And quickly found the anti-MLM YouTube community and is now rabidly against all MLMs and thinks she was an idiot for falling for it as long as she did. Grab machines. They purposely have weak claws so you can pick up what you want, but it may be too heavy to hold. So it'll get lifted then dropped. I have a friend who was looking into buying them. Most of them will strengthen the claw every so often in order to keep people playing. You can set it to whatever you want. 1 in 5 or 1 in 5,000. I was waiting to meet some friends at a restaurant one day at a pretty quiet hour for diners. The manager came over with a new employee and started talking about various things in the front of the restaurant. The manager got to the claw machine and explained that there was a little screw up in the top. And if the employee started noticing people taking much out of the machine, just turn that little screw a bit and the claw's grip would weaken. It was kind of surreal. Keeping prices of products way too high and then marking them down to their appropriate prices but calling it a sale. I'm looking at you, Coles. I've heard a story of an old JCPenney CEO that tried to do away with sales and just sell everything at the lowest sale price all the time. But the general populace threw a fit because they didn't see they were saving money and he was forced to resign after. As a US college student I hated having to buy a book and an access code for a class. Basically paying twice to be able to do my work. Yep. My daughter's freshman year. I was floored when she came to me and asked if I could help her cover the cost of the access code. I had no idea what she was talking about. She explained she had the book, but that in order to do the homework, she needed to shell out another $80 for some code or she couldn't do her homework. What the what? I was so angry. This wasn't a thing in the 90s when I was in college. We just bought the books. And then we were assigned homework. Tic Tacs. They are advertised as sugar-free. They are mostly just complete sugar. This is allowed because anything under 1 gram of sugar can be labeled sugar-free. Tic Tacs aren't even 1 gram in total. What the FCK, they can actually label it per individual Tic Tac. Here everything has to list nutrition facts per 100 grams. Anything else, like per XG portion or per Tic Tac, whatever, is optional. But the 100 gram list must be on there. So sure, an individual Tic Tac may not even be 1 gram. But there's definitely plenty of sugar to be found in 100 grams worth of Tic Tacs. Mediums that ask for money. It's wrong to exploit and manipulate those grieving the death of a family member or friend. Such a fraud business. My mom loves the Long Island medium. It's easy for people to fall for that stuff. After my mother died, my grandmother, a few months later, was talking about going and seeing a medium. And her friends who also had lost family members put their money together to go see one. I tried explaining to her that I thought it was a bad idea because of social media and how easy everyone finds things out, but she still wanted to do it. I didn't say anything about it after that cause obviously I knew what she was going through. But I found out later on that the medium wasn't even like an older lady like you'd think, but was around my age, and that really aggravated me cause she fucking knew exactly what she was doing. Didn't even have a crystal ball, fucking dummy. And that bullshit of people telling me that even if it's not real they're just helping them grieve, even it's just someone to talk to and say their loved one is in a better place, and that shit. Those people can go FCK themselves. If you're going to scam someone like that, at least have a crystal ball and make it seem like there's a ghost in the room or something, you asshole. Loot boxes in video games. They're literally gambling and somehow they get away with it. Loot boxes, and I'd add microtransactions DLC, since companies can just release unfinished games and then for an actual finished game have to pay more. The entire jewelry diamond industry. My partner agrees with this totally. Still wants an expensive ring. How's that for cognitive dissonance? Payday loans. And I swear to God they concentrate those places in low income neighborhoods and purposefully target African Americans. It's f***ing disgusting. When a cat rolls over and shows their soft fuzzy belly and gives you that come hither look with those beautiful big eyes. Beware. Things are not what they appear. 'Tis but a trap and treachery is afoot. However, that is not a scam. The cat simply implores you to do something you want to do, knowing full well you'll do it, thereby exposing yourself to its cunning plan. Timeshares. Okay, I always hear about timeshares, but I have absolutely no clue what the deal is. Are people paying too much to basically just have a hotel room once a year? Is there more? Someone please help. Being born. I wasn't told about the endless sea of responsibilities. I feel ripped off. Yeah, I got a good point. But what about pizza? And nostalgic stuff you will hold dear to your hair? And friends that don't leave you after high school? I mean, that stuff is pretty good too. Mobile ads. FCKM. Does this happen to you or anyone? You're scrolling through some article and suddenly your tablet or phone screen goes glitchy like a dying video card in a PC. In a few seconds things return to normal. But inevitably the culprit are interstitial Google ads. So as I scroll through the article, I'm actually there to read, it's disrupted by abrupt changes in vertical position of text, skewed with ad videos or otherwise animated and distracting crap. Weight loss supplements. Most are caffeine and other appetite suppressants. They can help, but there is no magic pill to make weight just fall off. You have to work for it. Health insurance. Costs a fortune and doesn't pay a dime. Been thinking about opening a restaurant with a health insurance style business plan. You pay me a monthly subscription, but if you ever come in to eat, I look you up and down and tell you that you don't look that hungry. Let me just say, I never understood why people feel that way. I'm from Germany though, so it might be because I have an outside look at a privatized healthcare sector like in the US. I presume that's where you're from. And many positive experiences with the German model of universal healthcare. I suffered a ruptured spleen in an accident 10 years back. And I'm pretty certain that my parents or me would still be paying loans for the hospital bills for my initial treatment, including emergency surgery and a 3-day stint in the ICU, and the additional exotic vaccines I needed in its aftermath. But because this is Germany, we had to pay no substantial bills at all. So yeah, you might not get a payout, but it can potentially save you a lot of money. Academic paper publishers. When I was doing my master's thesis, there was a journal article I needed that I couldn't get through my university, so I looked about buying just that article from the publisher. It would have been like $30 just for that one article. And not to print it, just to read it online. And not even $0. 0.1 of that goes to the author. No thanks. Religion. Not true actually. I'm not even religious. But I'm studying anthropology. There are so many benefits for people that are religious. It literally changes the way their brains work. Yeah, some people suck. But overall humanity wouldn't have been able to survive without ritual, main component of religion. Makes me wish I could still be a believer, tbh lol source. Roy Rappaport. Fuck religion FCK Church. Here are 95 reasons why. The Khmer Rouge. In the 4 years they were in power. Killed more people in the name of left-wing atheism than every crusade and inquisition combined over half a millennium. Turns out that people can just be evil. The belief system doesn't matter. Charging to use restrooms in public places like airports or train stations. What are you meant to do? Piss yourself? I think it's meant to keep homeless people, drug addicts out. Could be wrong. Fucking ink cartridges for printers. This is very true. The manufacturing cost for it is well below $1 but is sold at $30-50 to my knowledge. But the printers themselves are actually sold at no profit or at a loss. Also some printers uses some colored ink with black to give a better black. Obviously BS. Some ink cartridges don't work if one color runs out. The Electoral College. Homeopathy. Political parties. Fun fact. George Washington did not want political parties to exist. Any kind of online dating. The most successful online dating service keeps you getting dates but never having those dates go anywhere. Nowadays almost every dating service is a meat market where you just swipe and you have to pay money for boosts. They've done studies about online dating and it's a scam even before the cost comes into play. Something like the top 80% of women will only go for the top 10-20% of guys, which leaves most men out in the cold. Even worse, it gives the women a false sense of their own importance because the hottest guys will sleep with average women but they won't date them. Average guys end up dateless while average girls end up chasing guys way out of their league. Auto renew function for subscriptions. Especially ones that require phone calls to cancel. Student loans. The amount in the US is absolutely staggering. And I dread when that bubble pops. Clicker games, especially on Roblox. All they are is click this button so you can click it better, and at one point the difficulty will escalate so much you will have to pay them if you want to make any progress. The lottery. It is just a very flat pyramid scheme. Came here to say this, although I don't think it is a pyramid scheme as much as it exploits people who don't understand their statistical probability of losing and its addictive nature. My father used to always say it was a tax on people who are bad at math. Antibacterial soup, and it's bad for you in the long run. Pay parking lot outside hospitals. Especially emergency rooms. Absolute scum of the earth. Churches not paying taxes. They take in money like a business. Pay people like a business. Provide a service like a business. But are taxed like a business. Instead of being put towards something useful. It's used to buy private jets and continue expansions on Six Flags over Jesus churches. The undercoating. Never pay for the undercoating. I disagree. I owned a 1990 Toyota truck just a few years ago that had no rust on the frame because of undercoating. If it snows where you live, undercoating is great. The Federal Reserve Bank and the fractional reserve system. The latter is used by banks to get money hungry and loan out money that isn't theirs in hopes to make more off interest. The second is probably the biggest scam in American history. In short, the Federal Reserve is a private bank in total control of the US money supply and arguably has power and influence comparable or more so than the president. Diamonds. The De Beers Corporation pretty much ran the diamond trade. They have intentionally inflated the price on diamonds by artificially lowering the supply. They withhold a great deal from going into circulation so they can keep the price high. Then, they ran a huge ad campaign to enforce the idea that a proper engagement needed a diamond ring. Even the 2-month salary thing is tied to them. One-turn election with two-party. Democracy time. Which animal is the cutest? The Goliath Mygale 2. The giant Asian hornet. Ah. Democracy. Such a nice invention. We really need ranked vote system. Calling animal products shappy or anything similar, or putting pictures of smiling happy animals on top when in reality most of that comes from mass animal agriculture. Credit scores. Slot machines. Not a scam. More reasonably a full tax in the same way all gambling is. 3 words and a hyphen. Multi-level marketing. Okay, so that's 8 words. And the hyphen is missing. Edit. Oh, and tax exempt status for churches. Edit 2. Oh, and that corporations are people. FCK that. FCK them. The media. College. Many people did not graduate from college. And yet, they ended up doing some great things. Those ads on mobile games but make it look like it's from PC, but in reality it's just one of those trashy ripoffs that are pay to win. US election systems. Other than an understandable disillusionment with the current election, why do you think this? Is it possible you don't accept that you are just one among many and your vote expressing your thoughts and needs aren't more important than others' votes? I am sure it has been mentioned, but multi-level marketing companies. These companies prey on desperate people that are looking for a livable wage and have a rabid cult following where they scream out to the masses. The company I work for is amazing. But I am the CEO of my own company. We are not a pyramid scheme, honey. Those are illegal. Listen to my videos about my company and my shoddy products while I try to scam you out of spending thousands of dollars to be part of my Jilbus team. Double quote. It's ridiculous that MLMs are allowed to exist.